Hey, Joe Zarzaur here for another segment of Zarzaur Law TV. Today we're going to talk about scooter injuries. First of all, let me get this out of the way. I think it's great to have scooters in Pensacola. I think it's wonderful to encourage non-vehicle transportation and to try to make downtown, at least the core of downtown, more pedestrian friendly, because obviously we've done videos about bike safety, we've done videos about pedestrian safety and the incident of injuries between bikes and vehicles and pedestrians and vehicles. And so obviously the less vehicles that are in the core of downtown where most people are walking, the better off we are. These bird scooters, I'm sure everybody has seen. I've never been on one because I will get injured for sure. I did bring one in off the street because they're always parked out here in front of the office, and I just wanted to run through a little bit of the stuff that's important to know about these things, because a lot of the injuries occur to people that are not experienced with scooters, obviously. A lot of soft tissue injuries, a lot of head injuries, unfortunately, a lot of broken bones, especially lower extremity type issues, because what you're doing is you're obviously, one of your legs is on here to start it, and the other leg is on the street. And of course, the instructions tell you that you're supposed to kick off with the foot that's on the street and sort of get things going, and then your foot that's on the scooter itself will be your lead foot, and then once you get going, you can bring the foot that's on the street up. Well, some people obviously don't do that as well as others, and they hit curbs and they don't step off properly, and they twist their ankle or they fall. It's important that you obviously take precautions. I think the most important thing about these is that you need to understand that there are a lot of vehicles that are still on the road in downtown Pensacola, regardless of these birds, right? And because of that, you have to be aware all the time that vehicles could pose a threat to you on a scooter. And the most serious thing that could happen to you, obviously, is you to get hit by a vehicle and suffer some kind of horrible injury, including, but not limited to, a head injury. That's why the bird makes you sign a lot of releases and arbitration agreement, which I'm not fond of. We've talked about those. They sort of got you. By the time you get the app, you have to get the app first. And then once you scan the QR code on the handlebar to actually rent this scooter, you have to actually check off signature areas for their arbitration agreement, which says you can't sue them in court if something were to go wrong. And then the agreement that their liability is limited, and that you agree basically to pay them for anything that you cause, any damage you cause to the actual device itself. So that, I think we tried to print that document off. It's several pages. Can you hand it to me, please? So what you're signing on your phone, and again, most people don't read this, but I'm going to flip through and just show you how many pages it is. This is all what you're agreeing to when you click through the bird agreement. Most people, again, don't ever even look at this, right? They just click it off so that they can get going as fast as they can. And you're basically releasing them from all liability. You're saying you can't even sue them. To try to sue them if you wanted to, they can forget that. And then you're agreeing to be bound by California law no matter what. So I would encourage you to read through this before like you do with every contract, before you get on it. 8 times in here it seems like, and then 2 times on the device itself, they're telling you to wear a helmet. I frankly have never seen anybody wearing a helmet downtown and riding these, to be honest with you. I think that would be a smart thing to do. But most people don't carry helmets around with them because they don't come down thinking they're going to do this. They come down, park their car in the deck, and the next thing they know, they want to go from point A to point B downtown, and they see this scooter in front of them, like, oh, let's just do this, right? Just remember that head injuries are common on these scooters when somebody gets injured, and you want to exercise caution. I would urge you to not ride these unless you do have some head protection. I know that you may be one of the few people that's wearing helmets, but I would note to you that when you pull up the app for this device, everybody in every picture is wearing a helmet. So the company is trying to promote this. I think they also know that 99.9% of the people that are using these devices are not wearing helmets. Hence the arbitration agreement, hence the limitation on liability that's in the contract. So listen, I think this is great. I think it's a wonderful thing for any city to try to move towards less motor vehicle, car traffic, especially in the core of downtown. But we're in a transition period still where there's cars and scooters on the roads. And until it becomes fully pedestrian or mostly pedestrian and scooter, it's a dangerous situation because you got a combination of people driving vehicles not used to deferring right away to a scooter, right? And not used to sharing the road with anybody. I can tell you as a cyclist in this community, motorists are not accustomed to sharing the road with anybody that's not in a vehicle, a car. So a scooter looks more like a toy to people that are driving. They don't give you the deference that they would another motor vehicle, and because of that, it becomes a very dangerous situation. Anyway, long and short is this. Enjoy this technology. I think it's great for the city, but be aware that you are signing away your rights when you sign these documents. So you might want to minimize the opportunity for you to have to exercise those rights in an injury case by taking precautions, being safe, making sure you're riding in bike lanes if they're provided, making sure that you wear a helmet if you have one in the car, as many cyclists do. Who cares what people think about you, right? If you're not used to riding these, like most adults are not, and these are pretty much adult modes of transportation these days downtown, you probably should be careful. And if you're going to be drinking, of course, the agreement that you sign says you won't drink alcohol and ride this, but again, we're operating on percentages here, right? I would venture to guess on Friday, Saturday nights, a good 70%, that might be conservative, of the people riding these have had some type of alcoholic beverage, right? So here you are, no helmet, it's night, of course, it's got some light, but not very many. It's night, and you are on a device that you've never ridden before. It's black, the device is, and here you are without a helmet, and traffic and many people on the roads that are driving vehicles, motor vehicles, are also perhaps drinking. So it seems like a deadly combination. Maybe you should reserve this for daytime activity. Maybe it should be when there's not a bunch of people out at bars and restaurants drinking wine and beer and liquor. Maybe you should think about those things before you ride it, at least for the first time. It is one of those things where if you're careful and enjoy it properly, it can be a great thing. So we would encourage you to do that responsibly. If you have questions about any kind of injury case, whether it's associated with a scooter or not, you can find us on the web at zarzaurlaw.com, or you can call us at 855-HIRE-JOE. Thank you.